When we get PSPs in at nostalgic video games, there's like a 99.9% chance they don't work. But the good news is that also 99.9% of the time, the problem is just the battery. So if we have problems with it, probably means you guys do too. You see, these weird batteries that Sony used for the PSP have a habit of expanding over time, and when you get these, you can actually look at them and see it sort of bubbling out on the underside there. Yeah, it's not supposed to bow out like that. Not only does that make the battery not really work, but also not fit in the actual handheld either. And since this is such a common problem and easy fix, we make sure to carry replacement batteries at nostalgic video games. But it isn't quite as simple as that, because there's two different types. See, Sony released 3 distinct models of the PSP. There's the 1000 model, 2000, and 3000. So you have to make sure you get the right battery for which model you have. So how do you figure out which model PSP you have? Well, there's a little barcode on the bottom here on every model that has your system serial number, and at the very end of it, it will say PSP and then 4 numbers. You want to see if those 4 numbers are 1000, 2000, or 3000. If those 4 numbers end in something else, like for example, if it's 1004, that doesn't really matter. There were slight revisions within models, but it didn't affect the batteries, so it just means that you have a 1000 model version. But since these were handhelds, they got beat up pretty often. And like this 1000 model, you can barely read the 1000 since that sticker is really fading. So what do you do if you can't read it? Well, there's a couple tells. The 1000 model is significantly thicker and heavier than both the 2 and 3000 models. But if you don't have another PSP handy to compare it to, it can be kinda hard to figure that out. The dead giveaway is the disc tray. On the 1000 model, there's this little slidey switch on the top that says open. Pull that to the side, and this little disc tray for the UMDs pops right open. On the 2 and 3000 models, there's this little indent that you just sort of stick your finger on and pull right open. So it's not spring-loaded like 1000 is. There's also significantly more like hardware in the 1000's disc tray, whereas this 3000, it's a lot plainer. They really slimmed it down, simplified it. The actual physical form factor of the 2 and 3000 is very, very similar, and they also share the same battery, so it's not super important to figure out if you have a 2 or 3, unless, of course, you want to know, just as long as you figure out if you have a 1000 model or one of the other ones. If you have the 1000 model, you're going to need this 3600 milliamp one, but if you have a 2 or 3000, you need the 2400 version. Not only are they slightly different in that respect, the 1000 model battery is also bigger. So once you got that figured out, all you got to do is swap out the batteries. On the 1000 model, there's this little button that says push, then you just push that in, and it comes right off. On the 2 and 3, there's a little button on the very side that you push in, and it pops that open to reveal the battery. And the batteries are specifically shaped so you can't put it in the wrong way. But thankfully, even though these are different batteries, they use the same charger. So once that's done, you just charge it up and get playing. Batteries for PSPs are pretty cheap. As of right now, they're $10. So if you have a PSP that isn't working, give it a shot. There are some great exclusive games on the PSP, and it really is just a PlayStation 2 in your hands. If this video helped you out, let me know down in the comments, and if it didn't, let me know what problems you're facing, and maybe I can help you out or point you in the right direction. We sell these at Nostalgic Video Games, our brick-and-mortar store in Florence, Kentucky, where we also buy, sell, and trade retro to modern video games, video game consoles, and accessories. So if you're in the market for a PSP, PSP games, or UMD movies, we also carry those subject to availability. Thanks for tuning into the Nostalgic Network, and I'll see you next time.